All right. What's up, everybody? And welcome to tonight's live stream. How is everybody doing this evening? I'm going to have a good stream here. I've got a couple of things planned for us. It's going to be a quick one. We'll talk about that here in a second. I'm pulling up my notes here on my phone to make sure I talk about everything that I want to talk about before we get into it. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I feel like it's been a while since I've done this. But I think everything's hooked up correctly. So let me know if the sound is good and everything like that. But let's say hi to a few people in the chat, and then we're going to get into it here. You guys all saw the thumbnail. So something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. I don't know. That kind of just like came to me as I was thinking about what I was going to drink today. But it does relate a little bit to real life because, yes, I mean, Sarah and I have been engaged since December, but we are getting married I guess next month. Yeah, I guess it's already July. So next month at the end of August, we're going to get married. So yes, that's that. What's up, Sugar Kitty? What's up, Carl? Good to see you. And Carl, you got those samples, which is great. Got a couple of things I want to send to you next time as well. I think I mentioned in my email. What's up, Hendo? Good to see you, man. Big Vic is in the house as well. I see Aiden is in here. Cheers to you, Jeff. What's up, Chris? Man, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Steve. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling by here. I see Bev Porter's in the house. That's awesome. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button down below before we get into tonight's tastings and everything like that. Please. We're drinking Mickners. I don't have any Mickners. Got something similar. Cheech, what's up, man? All right, Lito. Lito, your package is in the mail. Who else did I send out stuff to? Paul Graham, who won a giveaway, and then there was somebody else. Oh, Dave Rosas I sent as well. Lito, I put some cool samples in there for you, and two of those I'm going to be drinking right now in just a second. So that's awesome. Steve, that's a great one. That's a great bottle. Bullet Blender Select is seriously underrated, so I can't wait to see what they do with the second batch of that. Guy Davis, what's up, man? Julie Like is in the house. Good to see you, Julian. I know I was talking to Dan a little bit earlier. Uta is lurking and multitasking. We'll jump into the chat. All right, cool. David Babcock, I see you. Alan is in the house. All right, Lito. Yeah, I'm looking out for that. Hasn't gotten here yet, but I'm looking out for it. What's up, Amy? Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so first off, cheers. This is a little Buffalo Trace store pick. Thought I would start off with something easy and low proof tonight. I want to pack in a lot of tasting this evening, but I don't want to go too crazy. So I will cut it off if I'm feeling a little too frisky when I start getting into everything here. But I'm going to do my best to have really small pours as we get through this, all these different pours that I want to do. Last week, obviously, I was in Louisville with my buddy Robert, if you guys were hanging out for that. And we started that stream pretty tipsy. I mean, it wasn't as bad as we made it look like. I mean, we're kind of crazy when we get together anyways. But that was a fun stream last week. I'm going to try to keep it a little more cool this time. What's up, Matt? Thanks for stopping in, man. And Colin, thank you for the assist on those Good Times honey bottles, man. I cannot wait to get those. I don't know if Too Frisky exists. You need to ask Sarah. I don't know. We're going to move on. We're going to move on from that. Julie, so no, my car is not totaled. Believe it or not. I don't even remember when that happened. 2 or 3 weeks ago. I mean, feels like it's been a while. I think I get 21 days of my rental car covered from State Farm. So I hope we're under that. I hope I don't have to pay any out of pocket. But it's not totaled. It was like, I don't know, almost $8,000 in damage. And honestly, in today's car market for everything right now, I'm kind of glad it's not totaled and I don't have to go out and try to get another vehicle. So it's good and bad, but it's okay. I can't read that. What's up? Remember the water. I will get some water in my body. I'm telling you what, I've had this Buffalo Trace store pick for a while. I forget how good these things are compared to the standard Buffalo Trace. The standard stuff is fine, but I will never buy it again, I will always buy store picks from people. I think the upcharge is totally worth it. Even $50 local secondary, it competes with a $50 local secondary Eagle Rare. I think so, for what that's worth. Yeah, really good stuff. Okay, so let's talk about what's up tonight. Number one, we're not going to do a giveaway this evening. There's not enough time for the giveaway. So, if you do super chat tonight, just know you're not entering a giveaway. So I apologize for that. I've been doing a lot of them recently, and yeah, short timeline. I don't want to have to take time away from the stream to do that this evening. There will not be a live stream next Thursday. I might see if I can jump on with somebody else on one of their live streams or something. I have rehearsal next Thursday night for the symphony, so I'm not able to get on. It's 7 to 9:30, and I don't want to encroach on anybody's time. I wouldn't be able to get on until 10, and I know that's when Clifton's going to be on. So no live stream next Thursday. The Thursday after will be my birthday live stream, turning 27. So we'll do that on the 22nd, and then again the next week on the 29th, there will not be a live stream. I've got another rehearsal conflict. So two conflicts in July, which really kind of sucks. It is what it is, and I'm going to see what I can do, maybe about a Sunday night live stream or a Sunday evening live stream. And maybe, something else in there, maybe jumping on with somebody and follow up with people who have wanted to collaborate, who, we haven't been able to collaborate yet. So thanks, Hendo, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat. Cheers to you, man. Carl, yeah, you're right. Got to drink faster. Okay. Yeah. So Colin has spotted our first casualty of the evening. What's going to go down here? All right. Second thing real quick before we get to the tasting, I'm going to be on with Drew P tonight. So Drew P Whiskey at 9 p.m. So in 52 minutes, I'm going to be hanging out on Drew P's channel. I don't know if Brian's going to be there, Brian Bikey, or not. We'll kind of find out, but I know we're going to be talking about 5 topics for people getting into whiskey. I'll be kind of talking about my backstory, and we'll just kind of shoot the shit and hang out, which is going to be a good time. What else? Okay, so what we're tasting this evening, kind of past, present, future stuff going on here tonight. I'm going to try to follow the chat, but I might get lost in this. So I'm just letting you guys know I might miss some chats. Carl, that's hilarious. I'll leave that up. First thing we're going to be tasting tonight, something old. All right, so recently I acquired 2 dusty scotches. I know a lot of you are bourbon drinkers, but I want to try this for some scotch folks on the channel. And I want to try it for myself too. I've had a few pours already, but never really analytical pours, right? Just kind of enjoying. So I've decanted these. They both had a little bit of, cork floating around, but not too much. This is an old Glenlivet 12 from the 1980s. That's 10 years plus before I was born, to Carl's point. And then this is a Glenfiddich Pure Malt, which is a non-age stated Glenfiddich from the 1980s as well. This one's a screw top. So these are my something old for the stream. For my something new, I've got this bad boy, this High Plains Rye. So let me tell you about this very quickly. For those of you who were on the live stream last week, I told you that I was in Louisville, and that day I had done a filming with Rabbit Hole, which I think everything turned out for that. So I got to get that video edited and put out. It's going to take about a month. But the day after, that next morning, we were feeling pretty rough, after that live stream. We went to see Steve Camisa. And Steve is a partner with Jim Rutledge for J.W. Rutledge Distillery. Now, obviously, we know what Jim's been up to with Blue Run. I've got a Blue Run 14-year on the way from Sealbox, which I'm stoked for. We know that Jim has his Cream of Kentucky brand. But Jim also has been working on not only opening the distillery finally, getting some investors in there, which some have fallen through over the last 2 years. Finally, it looks like the capital's been raised to build the distillery, but they've also been working on sourcing some rye to create this High Plains Rye. All right, so this is going to be the newest thing coming out from J.W. Rutledge. It was being bottled last week, I believe 4,500 cases or so. And so when we showed up to Steve Camisa's office to talk about this, Jim wasn't there, but it was still a really incredible time talking to Steve. And he kind of, he showed us what went into this blend. We were able to go down the line and taste all of the single barrels that they were blending together to create this. We tasted through their 5 blends, and we picked our favorite. and we ended up picking the one that is actually in this bottle. So it kind of reaffirmed the fact that, a lot of the feedback that they got on this blended rye was similar feedback, which is great. So anyways, High Plains Rye, this is my something new for tonight. This hasn't hit shelves. I haven't heard of anybody else snagging this. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be getting a review of this out ASAP so that I get the first one out there. So that's what we're going to be tasting second. Something old, new, something borrowed. I would say this is borrowed. This is the Old Charter Team Wildcard blend, Dan Shook's team for the Old Charter project. I'll have another pour out of this because I needed to think of what something borrowed could be. Well, this is borrowed, and it's going actually to Drew P next for him to add some stuff into it. So I'll give a couple tasting notes on that and maybe think about what I'm going to add to that before I film my portion of the Old Charter blend. Finally, something blue, talking about a blue label. So we'll close out by drinking this magical thing, this Russell's Reserve 13. Young Pei Chang was able to send me 2 100 milliliter flasks of Russell's 13, which is so ridiculously generous. Thank you, Young Pei Chang, for sending that. Wow. Seriously awesome. So that's going to be what we close the night with. I've got some other things behind me. We'll see how fast I move through this stuff. I have the new Penelope Rosé Cask Batch 2, the new Penelope Barrel Strength Batch 7, the Seal Box pick from Penelope, Barrel Seagrass Discovery 5, Larceny B521. I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to try to be cranking out here. So we'll see what we get through tonight. Okay. Let's see. Dave coming in with the super chat, sending stuff tomorrow. No worries, man. Thank you so much. Your Yellowstone and your samples are on the way. So that's awesome. Something about viewers on the channel here. I don't know. I'm trying to see what's going on here. Oh, more people watch this in the past. Yeah, I think I've been pretty inconsistent recently with stuff I've been doing on the channel. So understandably, I think some of the viewership has fallen off. And, I don't get these thumbnails up for these live streams until right before. I haven't planned ahead very well. So that's probably why there's not a lot of people hanging out. I'm not worried about it. Life got a little busy for me there for the last couple of weeks. So it kind of is what it is. That's no worries. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to start with a little Glenlivet 12. And also people probably, they don't like scotch that much. So they might be tuning out here for the beginning of the stream while I taste the Glenlivet and Glenfiddich here. That's no worries. Lito coming in with the super chat. Found a Blue Note 17, lower proof than the one Minnick reviewed. Hopefully is solid. Yeah, I didn't go out of my way to try to get one of these. I would have had to pay secondary for it, I believe. I think maybe Sealbox got some, and I didn't really know what it was at the time when they got their pick. Honestly, I'm not going to take a chance with 17-year-old Dickel, even if Minnick says it's good. I've just been burned too many times. So let me know how it is, Lito. That's going to be interesting to get your thoughts on that. Yeah, Aiden, that's the other thing too. It's I got to be careful with my time, but it's okay. Act like an animated idiot. Oh, I should proof these before I read them. Anyways, let's get to it. So first off, let's start with this Glenfiddich. So like I said, this is the Glenfiddich Pure Malt. I don't have an exact year, but it's from the 80s. It's a non-age stated Glenfiddich. Looking at the color here, I would say this is got to be all or mostly ex-bourbon casks. I don't believe with this color that we're going to have any sherry cask blended in here. And, it's got that pale straw color going on. Really, really nice. So let's check it out on the nose. Yeah, this is great. I mean, this might have a tinge of sherry cask. It's almost got like a Glenfarclas feel to it. If you guys have had maybe like the Glenfarclas 17. This is kind of reminding me of the Glenfarclas 17. And this is non-age stated, probably like 10 years old, 8 to 10, maybe 12. Yeah, it's got that really rich honey sweetness in here, but a little bit of that funky, that funky leather note that you get on some, second, third fill sherry casks, especially the kind of stuff that Glenfarclas is using. That's really what this Glenfiddich is reminding me of. Yeah, wow. Really, really nice. A teeny bit of like this golden raisin type note. Yeah, nice sort of tropical fruit notes, a little bit of pineapple. Obviously, some great vanillas. Yeah, really, this is just a really light, pleasant, airy almost kind of nose here on this. And it's 43% ABV, so not 40, 43, which is great. So let's try it on the palate now. Yeah, really soft whiskey. The spice takes a while to kick in. And even then, it's just a nice light oak spice. Very sweet. And as we get into the finish here, it starts to turn a little bit tannic, a little bit oaky. That leather note, that Glenfarclas 17+ year leather note is present now. It's a really nice one, an easy sipper here from Glenfiddich. And I haven't compared this next to today's current Glenfiddich 12. That's going to be a video that does come out. As far as I can tell right now, this is head and shoulders above the current stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I see a little bit of something going down in the chat here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are very good at being animated. My channel is not as animated unless I have other people with me. I can't do that by myself, you know, but other channels, I almost wish I had like a second. I wish Sarah could come on here with me all the time, you know, but she doesn't want to do that. I've tried to twist her arm to be up here, but she wouldn't do it. And, you know, none of my friends are into whiskey enough to kind of want to do this with me. So unfortunately, you're stuck with me. I know it gets a little boring sometimes, but you know, when Trev comes on and stuff, it's a lot of fun. And I love to be kind of wild and crazy when that stuff happens. But, you know, sometimes it's a little more dry, a little more boring. I think that's okay. I think we all have our own styles, so it's all good. Yeah, Carl, daily sit back in the 90s. I mean, this stuff is fantastic. Yeah, a little white chocolate in there too. So really great stuff. I'll take back what I said about no sherry casks probably being involved. I think there's definitely some heavily refilled sherry casks in there, right? Like second, third, fourth fill, you know, that kind of a thing. It's got a lot of those, again, Glenfarclas type notes. So let's move on now. The second and final scotch of tonight. This Glenlivet 12 from, again, sometime in the 1980s. And I'll be doing a video on this as well to compare this to today's present day Glenlivet 12. This one has a little bit of a darker color here, right? So we've got a slight amber hue to this. It looks a little darker on the video here than it does for me. But yeah, it's kind of like a goldenrod or an amber color. So definitely darker, you can see, than the Glenfiddich. So here's the Glenlivet, and here's the Glenfiddich. So very, very different. A lot more sherry cask influence just by sight here on the Glenlivet 12, again, from the 80s. Aiden, oh, you should be proud of how you did on Mash Madness. Most had no expectations, and you narrowly missed the finals. Cheers, bud. Thanks, man. I wanted to talk about that too tonight. I am so thrilled about how Matt Madness went. And, you know, I can't be upset at all about how the last round was. Grease, whether or not I would have guessed that final, you know, the third glass, the Knob Creek single barrel, which I said was a rye instead of a bourbon. Even if I would have guessed it, he would have beat me on the tiebreaker question, because he was one proof point closer to the hazmat proof of that light whiskey. So look, I feel like I had a really good showing, and I still didn't learn my lesson through the whole competition of don't second guess yourself. The stuff I had written down from the very first minute and a half nosing we did in the competition, I called 2 bottles in the first minute and a half, Eagle Rare and the light whiskey, Obtainium. I called that on my sheet of paper that I was taking notes on. And for the second one, I said Weeded Heaven Hill, which was an old Fitz 15. And the third one I said was Young Knob Creek. And so I ended up second guessing myself on those middle two, and that's what totally blew it for me. So I didn't quite learn my lesson, but I'm just stoked about how it went. And I think Grease is going to go all the way. I think Grease has got it in the bag. I just signed up for the World's Top Whiskey Taster for this year, and I feel like I've got a good chance. You know, I'm curious to see how all that goes, but I'm getting excited about it. What's up, Richie? Good to see you, man. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but so many tastings I want to do tonight. I want to move through it. All right, cool. I can scroll down there. What's up, Bo Tillman? You gained an instant fan after watching Matt Madness. You were so close to pulling the second biggest upset of the whole tournament. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers to you as well. It's cool to know that some people came over for that. Came over to my channel from that. That's really great. I'm kind of. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's keep it classy in the chat, guys. Let's keep it classy and respectful, please. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, Glenlivet 12 year. This one had quite a bit of cork that had fallen into it. I've replaced the cork with an Eagle Rare one because you can see this cork. Let's see if it'll focus. This one has a little bit of something going on there, but that's okay. It's made it a little bit funky, but not necessarily in a bad way. I mean, it's kind of the amount of funk you would expect from a 1980s whiskey. Yeah, it's really, really wet and musty smelling. It's almost got like a sweaty sock note, which could be from that cork, unfortunately. But you get some really nice berry notes, sherry notes in this one as well. I mean, it's got a lot of red fruit going on. Just a big bunch of maltiness, some nice dark honey notes, of course. But I like this. I like how fruity this Glenlivet 12 is, and I think it's a heck of a lot fruitier than today's version of this. Nick, that's a great pour, man. Good to see you. What's up, Jay? That's my little sister. She says sweaty sock. I'm drinking a sweaty sock, Faith. Glenfiddich back then reminds me of finished Irish. Yeah, Glenlivet I've been to, and it may not rock anyone's boat, but still decent whiskey. Yeah, today's Glenlivet is fine for me. I haven't explored a bunch of the line. I've had the 12, the 12, the 14, and the 18, and I haven't really tried much else. None of the peated stuff. I'm not too interested in that, but maybe I should give it a go. Yeah, the older is much better. I think the cork has done a little damage to this one, unfortunately. It's got a little bit of cork rot here on the end, but either way, it's still an enjoyable pour. And Lido, I sent you samples of both of these, the Fiddick and the Glenlivet from the 80s. So that's going to be awesome. Aiden, you better watch it, bud. Don't go there. So anyways, first two pours, something old, done and done. So let's move on now. This is maybe the most exciting thing that I'm going to taste this evening, besides maybe the Russell's 13. Again, unreleased blended rye whiskey from Jim Rutledge, J.W. Rutledge Distillery, which has yet to be built, but is going to be. I believe 4,500 cases of this hitting select markets relatively soon, but not a lot of advertising done for this. I hadn't heard of it. It's only on one website as, listed on a website at this point as not in stock yet, sort of one of those notify me when available things. So I think this is largely flown under the radar, but it's coming in at 97 proof. So just under 100 proof. And on the back label, this is kind of the best part of this whiskey. They tell you exactly what's in here, not even just the state, but they tell you the distilleries they've blended. So it's extremely transparent. And this was something that Jim Rutledge was really insistent on when I spoke to them about this. So it's blended from distilleries in 4 states. Selected for this rendering, we have Kentucky Artisan Distillery, Middle West Distillery right here in Ohio. So for any of you in the chat who have sent samples of the Middle West Dark Pumpernickel Rye, that is in here, which is fantastic whiskey. MGP 95.5 is in this. And then also a rye, a 100% rye, I believe, from New York Distilling Company. So we have 4 different ryes, I think maybe 4 different states. We have 5 ryes from 4 states in this bottle at 97 proof. So for those of you on the Patreon, I put an entry of this into the Whiskey Diary last night as I was tasting through it. So you can go on there and check out some really detailed written tasting notes. But yeah. Colin, cork rot having it pass for slightly peated? No, I don't think so. Just more the sweaty sock note. So, Dan, it's, I've got to say, because this is entirely rye whiskey, and it's all sourced from craft distilleries besides MGP. I don't think it really bears any resemblance necessarily to Cream of Kentucky in flavor or anything or age, but it definitely, is the same idea of sourcing whiskey and blending really high quality stuff. And to sit down and see, I was at the table where they blended this, and all of the taster bottles, all of the barrel samples were there. And to kind of see the process they went through to get this was intense and like really cool for me to see. But also you could tell the care that they took in this and all the opinions that they sourced for this particular bottle before they, before they selected their final blend. So that was a really cool experience. It's just another one of these sourced things as they wait for the distillery to get built, I think. In the next batch, as far as I can tell, is going to have more of the Middle West dark pumpernickel rye from here in Ohio, because I think that's like the standout of this blend besides MGP, obviously. But I think this is probably sitting around 4 years old. I haven't confirmed age with them, but I should. Yeah, never mind. It's a rye. There we go. Aiden, dude, you're cool, man. You're cool. My sister's very chill. It's no big deal. Thank you, Richie. That's funny, Carl. Okay, so on the nose here, yeah, so this comment, there's really not a lot of mint going on here, just a little bit of spearmint. This rye has like the most spread of light and dark flavors that I feel like I've ever had in a rye whiskey, and that's because of what they've blended in here. The Middle West rye, I can speak to, I have a single barrel back there. It is the darkest rye whiskey I think I've ever had. It's like syrupy, it's thick, it's rich, it's almost savory in a way. It's almost got a little bit of a beef broth note to it along with these rye characteristics, but it's not bad. It's a good thing. So you have these really dark flavors in this rye, but you also have like lemongrass, lemon rind, lots of citrus notes from the MGP and some of these other things. So this rye whiskey covers just about every base that there is, but there's not a ton of mint, to be honest. Yeah, really nice barrel char notes in here. Like I mentioned, some of these dark things from the Middle West, dark pumpernickel rye. There's a distinct craft grain smell to this. Really kind of that almost like Texas funk. It almost has a little bit of Texas funk in here, even though nothing in this whiskey is from Texas. Yeah, there's chocolate. There's like milk duds in here. It's a little bit of not cheap chocolate, but that milk dud malty, malted milk ball note. It's not quite dark chocolate or anything like that. So it's got a really nice chocolate base to it. Yeah, let's try it on the palate. Oh, it's good. And it's spritzy on the palate too. There's so much like lemon zest, lemon rind in here that it almost comes off effervescent, like Alka-Seltzer or almost like an airborne tablet that you put in water. It's got a little bit of this spritziness on the palate, which is nice. It keeps it lively. It keeps it bright. And that's a really nice contrast to the dark base of this whiskey. Yeah, and yeah, now after that first sip, you're getting a lot of cinnamon bark here. Oh yeah, cinnamon bark, some nice oaky notes, which I hadn't gotten on this rye before. Wow, it's a totally unique rye. And remember, it's only 97 proof. So you're not going to expect a big, bold mouthfeel or anything like that. And it doesn't have it. It has an appropriate density and appropriate viscosity for 97 proof. But the flavors, again, they're so stratified from light to dark that it's just all around a really great whiskey. You have to like craft grain flavors. I think that New York Distilling Company rye that's in here is really adding a funky quality to it. You've got to like it. It's a teensy bit rubbery, if you know what I mean, from some of these craft distilleries, but almost like a pot stilled type character to it. And I don't know if they are pot stilled or not, but it's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. Robotic. Yeah. This is something I've been kind of dialing into recently to try to pinpoint certain amounts of effervescence on a whiskey that almost come across as like a carbonated spritziness. I really got it actually on a gin that I tried at Rabbit Hole. They finished their gin in the Boxer Grail rye barrels, and it's really it kills the juniper in there. It tames it down a lot, which I need on a gin. It tames the juniper notes down and brings in this, again, like this airborne tablet quality, which is great. Yes, please hit that like button, everybody. Please hit that like button. Yeah, so if this hits your market, this High Plains rye, it's got an MSRP of about $50. A lot of markets are going to see it around 55, depending on your state, how they handle certain taxes and things. If you find it 50, 55 bucks, for me, it's an instant buy. I might have rose-colored glasses only because I was able to sit down and do this with Steve from JW Rutledge. But anyways, I think it's a great whiskey. It's not my favorite rye, but it's unique. It's something different, and I think that's what Jim Rutledge was going for with this. And honestly, I'm not offended by the 97 proof. Of course, you wish it was higher proof, but I think 97 is a decent place to put this for the flavors that you get and everything like that. Yeah, cool. All right, so that's that. I've got some more clean glasses back here. I don't want to dirty every glass I own, you know. But we're sitting at 8:33 right now. Hit that like button. Remember, at 9 p.m. in about 27 minutes, I'm going to be over with Drew P. Whiskey on his channel, talking, drinking, hanging out. So come on over to that hang and hang out in the live chat there. Let me check out the chat here. Blackened cask strength. Oh. So I haven't had the blackened regular yet. Excuse me. I have a sample back there somewhere, and I need to try it. I've heard it's just okay, but I'm sure the cask strength variety is good. I'm sure that's a better thing going on there. I see a super chat from Big Vic. I got the samples and blew my mind, bro. Thank you, brother. Awesome. I'm glad you got those. Let me know which one was your favorite. Honestly, I can't remember what I sent you. I typically send like some backbone stuff, some Driftless Glen, maybe a High West Barai. Those are some of the samples I've been sending recently. Maybe a Middle West thing, actually, too. I usually send that dark pumpernickel rye if I can. Yeah, Aiden, I'm the same way. I like to see 100 proof if possible, but I'm sure there was a reason for this. I would have to imagine. I think this is about blackened. Well, I'm curious about the cask strength, though. All right, let's move on. So I've already had one small pour of this last week on Matt Madness, and I don't remember. Sorry, I was drinking. I don't remember if I had this when I was on the stream or if it was in the after hang, but because we hung out afterwards. It was me, Grease, Matt, and Bobby hanging out until like 2 a.m. that night. I think we ended at 12:30 and we hung out till 2. I had to wake up at like 7 in the morning and go to a rehearsal. So I had to bail on that hang. I know I tasted Old Charter at some point that night, and I have to add my 3 ounces to this blend. Oh, I don't want to break this cork. Okay. But I'm going to have another small pour here. Kind of pick out a couple of tasting notes and see what I might add to this blend. And I'm going to be recording that very soon because I need to get this bottle to Drew P so we can keep it moving through our team. All right. Nice. Thank you for all 43 of you in here right now. I know the live streams have been a little bit, a little rushed recently and unplanned, or at least in terms of me getting out the thumbnail and the descriptions and stuff like that. I apologize. It's going to get back to normal here, especially as July starts to calm down. If any of you know the band In Vogue, like the group of singers from, I guess, like the 1990s. If you guys know In Vogue, I'm playing a show with them this weekend with the symphony. And for a hot second there, I was going to be drumming for them. And like, that would be fantastic and a really cool opportunity. But we have about 1 hour to put together their portion of the show. And we get one rehearsal, and it was a miscommunication. So I've been like shitting my pants since last weekend, thinking like, oh my God. So I didn't know the charts. I didn't know the medleys. Nobody knew any information. And finally yesterday, we talked to their management, and it was like, okay, don't worry about it. We're going to figure this out. So for about six days there, I was kind of freaking out a little bit. So my week has been a little bit stressful for that. So tonight I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, this is a great blend. This Old Charter so far. I think, obviously Dan added in that Garrison Brothers Honeydew, a couple of other things. Someone added in some really good stuff. I can't remember. I have the sheet over here. I don't know if I'm supposed to read this or not. I can give you a couple of hints, I guess. A little bit of light whiskey has gone in here, and then some very allocated Buffalo Trace old stuff has also gone in here. I'll say that much. So this Old Charter, obviously Matt did a great job with the blend up front, but some high quality stuff going in as well. Yeah, I tried to talk around it a little bit. Just a little light whiskey and some allocated BT stuff, But I'll give a couple tasting notes. Whoa. That's a cherry grape bomb. A little bit of nuttiness, cherry grape, rich milk chocolate. Oh, wow. Whew. Age. This is old. The stuff I put in here, I don't want to over oak this thing or overproof this thing. I know now that we've got some light whiskey going in, people are thinking always in these infinity bottles, age and proof, that kind of thing. This might need something kind of creamy and vanilla to smooth it out a little bit. Hey, no, I was 2 in the 90s. Yeah, I was 6 in the 90s, right? I was born in 94, so. Is that true? That's pretty wild. If that's true, that is pretty wild. Yep, we're doing a bunch of their tunes on the second half of a concert this weekend. So, wow, this is just a grape and cherry bomb. A teeny tiny bit of nuttiness that kind of sticks out in kind of a bad way here. So I'd like to, whatever I add to this blend, I'd like to round out the nuttiness. It's heavy, it's heavy-handed and oaky. So I'd like to round out the nuttiness and also not over oak it or overproof it. So I'm thinking something that's, again, kind of creamy, maybe 100 proof, 110 proof, not 120, 130 when I'm adding to this blend. So yeah, we'll kind of see. Those are my ideas now for what I'm gonna put on this. But that video I think is gonna get spliced together at the end. So I'm not gonna release mine individually. Yeah, Amy, exactly. I thought about like 1 drop of peated whiskey to put in here and see if you can taste it. See if anybody notices. Jay says, use the High Plains rye. That's an interesting idea. I don't know if it's got enough vanilla and kind of creaminess. I'm trying to think of what's like a vanilla heavy whiskey that I've got around here, I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Like I don't think it needs MGP. I don't think. What's up, Tom? I'm going to see you over on Drew P's here in about 20 minutes. Wow. It's a killer blend so far, though. Really, really good. I'm going to do a little bit of a water shot here to keep myself hydrated. Carl, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, maybe like a knob 12 to not get too, oaky and too high proof. But I don't want the peanut of the Knob Creek 9-year single barrel. It's too nutty. I don't think it's going to be good in this blend. Tom, I don't have any Woodinville. Honestly, I don't like Woodinville that much. Besides, I have a cast strength rye that's pretty darn interesting. That's not a bad idea, Keith. That's a kind of a different MGP profile. I get a lot of dark fruit on that one, though. So I'll have to think about it. Okay, last thing I need to taste. Maybe I could throw this in there. Shoot. Last thing I need to taste tonight for something old, something new, something borrowed, now something blue. The blue label of Russell's Reserve 13. I will never own a bottle of this. I will never pay secondary for it. And I know nobody is crazy enough to let one of these go at MSRP. I fully respect that. There's money to be made. But like I said, Young Pei Chang was so freaking kind to send me 200 milliliters of Russell's 13. So I've already had, as you can see, I've already had a pour here. I gave a pour to Sarah. She absolutely went crazy for this stuff. She loved it. 114.8 proof. Sugar Kitty, that is a good idea. That's a good idea. I don't think I'm going to add 3 ounces to the blend. I don't think all 3 should be Michter's American, but I think maybe 2 of the 3 ounces or so I could see throwing Michter's American in there, and then something else to keep it on profile, like Stag Junior, high proof, grape, cherry, that kind of thing, keeping it on profile with that addition, but also trying to round out some of the vanilla character. Good idea, Yeah. Wow. This is some trivia that I did not know. That's crazy. Wow. David, this Glenlivet is a 1980s Glenlivet. I just got secondary. I also picked up this Glenfiddich Pure Malt, non-age stated, also from the 1980s back there. And that Pure Malt is a 1.125 liter. I think that's right. It's a big boy. And then this Glenlivet is just 750. I got them for 200 together, 200 shipped on secondary, which is not a bad price for some 1980s stuff, All right. Yeah, Greg says, here we go. Love to be able to find a Russell's 13. Love Russell's Reserve. I have 2 different 12-year barrel picks. I've had some sickeningly good Russell's Reserve barrel picks. But again, all the ones that I've had, like the Toddy's Twix picks and those things, they're just so expensive on secondary, and we don't really get killer picks like that here in Ohio. So I've resigned myself on the Russell's thing because I just don't want to pay secondary for these things. The Twix picks from Toddy's are like $350 or something like that from what I've seen. It's just craziness. So anyways, let's go on to this. What's up, Paul? Good to see you, man. Your stuff is on the way. Your Russell's pick and some cool samples as well. I threw in there for you. Oh, and ECBP is not a bad idea either. That is not a bad idea. The term pure malt. That's funny. All right, so Russell's 13, right away on the nose. You just I'm getting like sweet tobacco notes. I'm getting a lot of vanilla, actually. Yeah, sweet tobacco, vanilla. I get a ton of funky wild turkey oak. This is like the perfect amount of oak for a wild turkey product, in my opinion. The 17 bottled in bond and the Russell's 03 can just verge on slightly over oaked. I think actually the 17 is more over oaked. The 16, the Russell's 03, that is really delicate and really balanced, and I love the flavors in there. This has like the most just down the middle oak between like a Russell's pick and the really high aged stuff from the Master's Keep or the Russell's 03. Wow. I mean, yeah, it's so sweet on the nose here. Sweet tobacco, sweet cherry, not a lot of like spicy cinnamon, actually. Some of the Russell's picks are really cinnamon heavy. Wild turkey in general is cinnamon heavy. This is not so cinnamon heavy. It's so sweet and so rounded. Yeah, seasoned oak, like all of the components in this are so perfectly balanced. And the proof too, 114.8, which seems a little bit low. I don't think it's low at all. Wow. A little bit of orange marmalade, not quite as strong as the Russell's 03. As turkey ages, it gets a little more of that orange marmalade flavor. There's some of that going on in here as well. And then, yeah, sort of like this combination. If you had like chocolate drizzle, caramel drizzle, and like a peanut drizzle or something, like kind of together on vanilla ice cream with cherries and oak and seasoned oak, baking spices. Sheesh. I mean, it has a quality of, look, I'm going to start nerding out because I hate that I like this stuff so much. Oh, it's so good, but it's so expensive. And it makes me upset that it is so good because that just means I'll never see it. But it's got like almost a George T. Stagg quality to it. I hate to say that, like a lower proof George T. Stagg balance and sweetness. Yeah, and like not the best Russell's pick. Like I think the Toddy's Twix 3 Russell's pick that I have a sample of, I think that would probably edge this out in some ways, and in other ways not be as refined and aged. But this is like the average of all the best Russell's picks that you've ever had, and then add 2 years to it. Like that's kind of the vibe I get from this. Damn, a little bit of grassiness actually when I just came back to it here on the nose. Yeah, a little bit of freshly cut grass. I don't know why. That's weird. Wow. Damn. Cinnamon cherries. Oh, and then that turkey oak. It is way more intense on the palate than it smells on the nose. Way more. Almost a little bit brash, actually. And I don't know, maybe I just rinsed it around too much. Maybe slightly out of balance on the palate. Edging too much towards spiciness as compared to what you get on the nose. Interesting. Huh. Greg, yeah, I'm with you. Like there are some things I will pay for, particularly dusties to a point, and like things from a couple of years ago that are slightly upcharged. Elijah Craig barrel proof batches from 2018, 2019. You add $20, I don't care. I'll never see them again. So I'll pay for that. I'll pay for High West Barai 2017, which is like one of my favorite pours right now. I'm stocking up up there on my bunker shelf, but stuff that's continually coming out like this Russell's 13, like I can't justify paying 6 times or 5 to 6 times shelf price. Like it doesn't make sense to me, unfortunately. Yeah, Aiden, if you can find one, man, this is fantastic. Wow. Second sip is better as your palate acclimates. The spiciness of this up front on the first sip, it's like a bomb went off in your mouth. Now it's sweet, it's layered, it's rich. Yeah, vanilla. Like I'm gonna stand by that. It's vanilla ice cream with chocolate and caramel drizzle on it with a teeny bit of peanut butter mixed in, covered in cherries, and then some of these like baking spices on top. And then also lick an oak stave at the end. That's kind of what this is. Interesting. Yeah, wow. I haven't had any of the 150th stuff, so I don't know if any of that's worth it or not. I know like some of the birthday bourbons are pretty good, so, but again, not worth $650 or whatever those go for. Agree. In my opinion, like best Russell's Reserve store pick ×2. That said, secondary is ridiculous if I can get near MSRP all day. Yeah, agreed. I mean, again, I think some Russell's picks will compete with this, but those are going to be the best picks, the most excellent picks, of which I've only had 1, maybe 2 that could kind of make it to this point. So Paul says you probably ought to email me another shipping label. Just saying. All right, man. I'll send you. Is that a label to go to me? Because I mean, I will, but I'm going to feel guilty. The stuff you sent me last time was crazy, man. I still haven't even gotten through like all of the different goodies, and I haven't read all of the Rolling Stone you sent me and everything like that. So, it was so crazy, Carl. But it's good to set a price point like that, I think. So, anyways, guys, Russell's 13. Definitely a standout for me. If I saw this up to, based on the flavor profile, if I saw this up to 120, I would do it. Based on the fact that I know secondary is up to 400, and I'll not get it cheaper than 350. That might make me push this up to saying like 150 to 170. I would pay for it based on that. But based on the flavor profile alone, the enjoyable experience, I'd go between 100 and 120 tops for this. That doesn't mean shit in the market that we've set, and that's fine. But that's just what I'm saying. Okay, I have 9 minutes before I have to jump on with Drew P. Whiskey. I want to do something very quickly before I go. And I'm sorry I've kind of not followed the chat as much as I can. It is what it is. We're rushing through this. Like I said, I've got a bunch of videos that I need to get recorded and get out. Mark Royland, thank you for the Larceny B521. I've got Seagrass, I got Discovery 5, all that good stuff. But here are some new things that have just come in today, actually, from Sealbox. I've never had the Penelope Rosé cask finish. This is batch 2 at 94 proof. Barrel strength batch 7. Batch 6 has gotten better and better as it's sat over on my shelf about halfway full. And then this Penelope private barrel strength private blend, which, you know, I've never had one of these before until now. This is the Sealbox blend. Proportions are listed on the back, the percentages. Really good stuff. I'm going to crack open the rosé cask finish very quickly and give this a sip. If I run out of time, I just have to call it because I have to get over to Drew P. Whiskey and probably pee before I get over there. So, oh, whoa, this has a glass topper, this rosé finish. Whoa. Wait, is this a screw top? No, it's like a see-through. It is a glass topper. Holy crap. All right. Let's give this a go. And if I can get to the barrel strength, I will, but no promises. Oh, wow. What a weird topper there. Oh, geez, that's really sweet. Really, really fruity, as you would expect from a rosé cask finish, I guess, from a mostly wheated MGP, young. Dan, that's interesting. I didn't get to watch your video. I know you said your first taste was not good. I didn't get to watch the video after the fact. Aiden, I wouldn't have known that. I've never had rosé, actually. Maybe like once in my life. Wow, this is easy sipping stuff. This is dangerous. Just lots of like strawberry notes, light berry, light fruit, vanilla, but very grain forward also. All this Penelope stuff is very, very grain forward. I know Fred Minnick loves it when he talks about Penelope. I'm so-so. I'm learning to appreciate grainy notes more. Typically, that means it's younger stuff. Not always, but most of the time. I'm going to be really curious to see how the rosé cask finish opens up. Sealbox is out of these already. I know they go fast, so I got 2. I may end up doing a giveaway for that. I also got 2 of the barrel strength batch 7s. I also may end up doing a giveaway for that. So maybe a combined Penelope pack. We'll just kind of see how it plays out. All right. I only do giveaways for stuff that I like, believe it or not. If I don't like it, I sell it on a local secondary group because I don't want to give away bad stuff. I only like to give away good stuff. So the jury was out for the barrel strength batch 6. I ended up liking it, and so I did give a bottle of that away. Or maybe I'm just using reverse psychology. I'm just kidding. All right, so barrel strength batch 7 now, which is 3.5 to 5 years old instead of 3.5 to 4.5. 115.2. Huh. Still got that distinct barrel char note that a lot of these have. The barrel strengthers. Barrel strengthers. Whatever. Mm-hmm. All right. It tastes very similar to barrel strength batch 6 to me. This might have a little more sticky, like Twizzler note going on in this. But again, still very grain forward. Barrel char, that MGP note, a little bit of green apple. Yeah, good. It's good stuff. Price point a little much. That's okay. I will be comparing it to Barrel Strength Batch 6 when I do review this stuff. I'm going to review it separately than the rosé cask finish. I got to get off here, guys. I got 3 minutes to get to Drew P, and I got to go pee. So I'm out of here. I will see you guys soon. I got some more videos coming out. Patrons, I'll probably be doing a patron-only live stream on Monday, so keep an eye out for that. VIPs on the Patreon, Whiskey Diary is continuing to get updated. More entries going in. All that kind of good stuff. Sorry for the rushed stream tonight, everybody. But duty calls. I'll see you over on Drew P Whiskey if you want to come hang out there. Sorry about not keeping up with the chat. Cheers. See you guys next time. And hopefully some of you in just a couple of minutes here. Adios.